Yes. Sarah?
Karen Schumann's not here.
Is not here and will not be here today.
Erica James here. Leah Arzola, should I read her name?
No, not here.
Okay. Sarah Jones. Sally Ricciardi,
Here.
Marty Easterbaum.
Here. All right, Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, this is the June Culver Redevelopment Commission meeting. I would like to remind everyone that these meetings are recorded. So those in present online, your participation in the meeting is consent to be recorded. And the rebroadcasted meeting will be posted on the YouTube, the Culver channel and YouTube, the Culver site, YouTube. Okay, I think I've got that out partially right somehow. Okay, so first, we got some work to do to get accomplished tonight. But first, some unhappy news. Our newest member, Lily Arzola, has resigned last week from the commission with immediate effect due to a personal matter that requires her full-time focus. So we will wish Lily nothing but good things from here on out. Thank her for her civic mindedness and community spirit. And now we've got an opening to fill. So we're back at it. There is nobody warming up in the bullpen. So we're going to need to cast the net. Karen, I think we're going to ask you for your usual help in that regard. If you need anything from me, let me know. And all of you, if you know someone lives within the town limits, preferably for a year, but I don't know that how particular we are on that particular point anymore. And with a civic mindedness, we could use the help. Okay, so let's go to the agenda. The first, the third thing on the agenda, approval of the minutes from May. Sarah, nice work.
Thank you.
Great job.
Thank you.
Right. Has everyone had an opportunity to review the minutes? Are there any discussion, changes? Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to accept the minutes.
All right. Sally made a motion to accept the minutes. Do I have a second?
Yeah.
All right, Erica. All right, all in favor of the minutes as submitted by our commission secretary, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, minutes are approved. So the agenda has the financial reports up for approval next. Just list the May report, but in actuality, we have both April and May to approve this month because we did not do April last month. Karen, did you have any comments on the financial reports at all? Okay, so let's do the April one first. The April shows a total balance amongst the two funds of $795,290.50 at the beginning, and then after disbursements, an ending balance of $547,049.87. You will recall it was a big month for us last month with a $250,000 check to Surf Broadband, which is just about all of that change. So are there any questions or comments from the commission with respect to the April financials? All right, I'll entertain a motion to approve them. Right. Erica.
I'll second.
All right, Sally, all in favor of approving the April financials as submitted by our treasurer, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, any opposed? Hearing none. The April financials are approved. Let's move on to the May then. So the April ending balance is the May beginning balance at $547,049.87. was a relatively light month. You'll recall the claims that we approved only totaled $4,500 last month and change. So our ending balance is $544,738.10. Do I have a motion to approve that financial report?
So moved.
All right, Sally. A second? All right, Sarah on that. All in favor of approving the May financial report as submitted by our treasurer, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. Now our May financial report is approved. Thank you, Karen, for all your work on that. Really appreciate it. Okay, so now let's move on to old business. First matter is the Dunes project, and we've got some work to do on that. I've got a status report though that I think I'd like to share. I shared with the team, and I'd like to share it publicly for the record. So the Dunes is a proposed project up to 200 housing units on land west of South Main Street, covering most of the area from the S curve at Davis Street south to the turn at the cemetery. The Collins family of companies is proposing this development. Collins has been in business over 50 years, always has developed residential projects in rural communities, including Centennial Crossing in Plymouth, Tippy River Downs in Warsaw, Quail Ridge, Columbia City. I understand the development design was recently submitted or recently completed and will be submitted to the town soon. And then the technical review process can begin. So that's what happens now. I have not seen this final design myself, but I expect it will include multi-story traditional apartments, one-story apartments with garages, senior garden court community living style apartments, and detached homes with attached garages, along with a long list of amenities. I expect the work will be done in multiple phases, given the scope of this project, and that the work will be ongoing into 2025. Again, we will see what is formally proposed and accepted by the technical review committee. And if the plan commission needs to review it, then what the plan commission has to say about that. Last fall, the CRC, this group, committed to providing matching dollars to assist with sewer, water, storm, et cetera type infrastructure for this project. And the Ready Grant dollars were awarded in the amount of 1.3 million. And that was by the Regional Development Authority in conjunction with the South Bend Elkhart Regional Partnership. Money ultimately comes from the Indiana Economic Development Association. And they recognize the critical need for public entities to provide this infrastructure support to developers as a way to get housing built in rural areas. And that's why this commission supported that matching grant, along with the desire to support our Main Street businesses who could use additional customer traffic, and also in support of our school system, which could use additional students and has capacity for additional students. I also note that the project has an HOA type component to it, which dramatically lessens the amount of work that the town has to do relative to enforcing and making sure that the development is well maintained and is a credit to the community. So legal matters related to this development were decided last week in favor of the town. So as a result, I think it's time now to take steps to, with our municipal advisor and our bond counsel, to prepare to formally propose a residential TIF, explore our options for financing our infrastructure commitment. I'd like the approval of this body to set those wheels in motion. So I'll pause there as for comments, discussion. I don't know if we need a motion, but I'll take one.
Yeah, I'm not sure that we need a motion since, at the last meeting that I attended, at any rate, the attorneys that were involved with all the parties involved basically said that, as soon as that was decided, then we would, they would move forward on the TIF, because it was
Right.
Futile to try and do the TIF
Right.
when there were questions still.
Do we have a either a memorandum of understanding or some sort of agreement in place with either Baker Tilly or Barnes and Thornburg specific to this work? Or do we have an agreement in standing agreement that would cover it?
It, I think, was to be a standing agreement. At one point, we were working on updating the TIF, the other TIF districts, taking some out that were
Right, right, the work
profitable.
we did last year. Right,
And yeah, and that was all approved in, I believe, 21,
right. And there was a fee schedule. I remember
Became-
that.
eligible or not eligible, but started in 22.
Okay. So let's make sure that agreement can
Yeah.
hold, right?
Yeah.
Or if we need something new. So I would like, Sally, you've got all this history on this stuff, right? You know, so
Some of it.
I would like to have you committed to work this, you know, side by side, you know,
Yeah.
with me, and then
Right.
not to exclude other members of the commission from any meetings. Certainly you'll be advised and welcome. But I used to call it, you know, in case I get hit by a bus theory of management. I guess here it's in case I get hit by a golf cart. But, you know, to have somebody ready to, you know, with full knowledge of everything going on. So if you would do that.
I think you might win on the golf cart.
Yeah, not a lot of buses running around.
Right.
All right, so
But
thank
yeah,
you.
No problem.
Thank you.
That's one reason I asked to have my name left on, since I serve on both this and the town council.
Terrific. Thank you, Sally. The other update I've got relative to that is you'll recall at a previous meeting, we approved as a group the hiring of Shannon McLeod as the grant administrator for that
Right.
Ready grant to help us make sure that we're in compliance with that. Shannon did call a meeting that I attended. It included some other members of the town and also Burke Richardson who was counsel for Collins Development. The discussion was about what additional information Shannon needed in order to perfect the application for the formal
Right.
grant. The meeting went well, and I know that Burke is working to get that pricing information that Shannon needs, but that will have to come after the plan is kind of like formally approved. Doesn't make any sense to price out, you know, specifics until we've got a development plan that we know we're
Right.
going to use. So that's the order of that. I did ask about a development agreement, which is in draft stage and will be submitted for us to get a look at, I think in probably the next couple of weeks. So.
Yeah, I think that, you know, with the suit being finalized, pretty much finalized, still a couple weeks to answer any,
Right.
but as soon as that's wrapped up, I think you'll see some movement.
Okay. So is everybody comfortable with the status and what kind of to expect next? All right. Then I will close the discussion on the dunes. The next thing on the agenda is approval of claims. Let's take a look at our May claims. Or I should say our June claims. All right. Karen, did you want to walk us through any of these?
I think the biggest one is 250. I think there's 125 left to go on that, and then the original root beer stand has to be reimbursed for the facade grant that they applied for. That he would submit to pay his paid invoices, and that work is complete and very nice.
It looks nice. It looks really nice.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good. They do Brockies too, and we just don't have the bill yet, or? Oh, okay.
I don't
Okay.
think that Rockies has finished theirs.
Okay. All right, good. And then we've got a couple of Troyer bills, just standard stuff relative to the trail work. And then Develop Culver, the end focus bill from Develop Culver, which was previously approved by this group. So that totals $153,272.83. Do I have a motion to approve claims? Right, Erica
I'll second that.
and Sally.
And I'm assuming that where you've got visitor center type next to the original root beer stand, that that's a, yeah, that it's a facade grant. And that's,
It was a quick last minute.
Right.
Get it done.
I figured that it came over from another page.
And they're right. Okay, did we vote? We did vote on that, right? Erica and Sally?
It was
No.
motion and second.
Oh, motion and second. Okay, so now, let's take a vote on, approving $153,272.83 worth of, redevelopment commission claims for the month of June. All in favor, say aye.
I,
Any opposed? Okay, those expenses are approved for payment. Thank you, Karen. We talked about in focus. I did pick up that you'll recall those who were here last month that received a presentation from Don Fox representing Develop Culver and the Make My Move program, which was kind of cool about attracting people from out of state to move into town. I learned that the Marshall County Economic Development Commission board did vote to approve and support that program. So the cash incentive contemplated is $5,000. The state and through the regional partnership is providing half of that, $2,500. The Economic Development Commission is approved to pay half of the remainder, so $1,250, which would leave an additional commitment to be filled from some other source. I'm thinking the town might be that source for the additional $1,250. And then there's a list of other non-cash incentives that are being developed that are very interesting. You can go to the makemymove.com website /Culver or search Culver and you can see how that looks. It's a pretty cool program. Any questions, thoughts, comments about that? That we'll move on. Okay. So new business, Sally, I think we kind of touched on the new TIF establishment work, but the reestablishment work, it was suggested that we should look at 415 Lakeshore Drive as a re-addition to one of the TIF districts. I think it was, which TIF district is that runs that way? TIF 1. That makes sense, right? It's vacant now. The assessed value will
Yeah.
presumably increase.
would hope that it would.
So would I.
I think that that definitely is something we could discuss, and we may want to look at some of the other businesses and areas that are in TIF 1 or TIF 2 that may or may not that were added later.
We have that report that Baker Tilly does, right? That
Yeah.
does with the reset every year for the valuation. That's due
Every few
August.
years.
That's August 1st.
And then there's also a very large spreadsheet that I'm working on updating with all the assessed values and the net assessed values. All the properties in the TIF.
The updated from the auditor, the county auditor's assessed
Right.
values.
Yeah,
Okay,
those
wonderful.
put together.
Okay.
I'm working on getting that updated for you all, so you could, that would be a great tool for you to use. As we're already engaging Baker Tilly to do the work of establishing and reestablishing. This is a good time to take a look
Okay.
and make any changes. because it will be significant. I mean, it's a significant cost to make any changes.
Yep.
So you don't want to do it for just one or two, but if we're doing it for a couple, it would be advantageous.
Yeah.
How constricted are we from a time standpoint? Does anybody know?
We're okay. I
Yeah.
did ask that when I was discussing this with Heidi. She said.
Sometimes it's different
basically
years.
To do it by the end of the year.
Okay, so it came out in the previous year and it's gonna get in this year in order to, okay. Okay,
Is this something I would need to recuse myself? from
Probably.
before 15?
Yeah. I would think.
probably,
That was also part of the discussion. It was a definite yes.
Okay,
yeah,
got
yeah, so nobody quit.
it.
'Cause we're gonna need a quorum. All right. All right, so, and then the annual meeting for overlapping taxing units, it's another big curtailment. I've reached out to Heidi to suggest she let us know when the report could be ready and a month that she could be in town on a Monday, third Monday. I haven't heard back. Did you hear anything back?
I don't think so.
I mean, we could do it the same time as we have our regular meeting or beforehand. Or, you know, if she's not available, those
She-
dates.
He said we could do it in August or September. And, yeah, so I'll,
What would be good for the overlapping taxing units, Erica? August or September? Since you're one of them.
She
Or
works.
an employee of one of them, I should say, yeah,
It's a busy time of the year, but
yeah. Is September better
probably September.
than the third week of August?
Right when school starts.
Yeah, I would think,
Yeah.
maybe we should go for September then. Okay,
Right.
strategically schedule a
Yeah.
little bit more than normal. So,
okay.
Yeah, I mean, if she makes the trip up here for one, if she's available and we know far enough in advance, we could just schedule it for sometime this summer as well.
Okay, sounds great. Brilliant.
I most likely will see her.
Okay. All right, then, moving right along, town manager report, Mr. Clevenger. How we doing?
Well, we have another candidate. But the earliest date that we're gonna be able to do interviews is probably gonna be about July 11th, I think is the second Tuesday. Yeah, July 11th. Our recruiter is out of town for another week. And he's out of the country, so it'd probably be the 11th before we start conducting any.
Thank you, Bill. Anything else of
No,
substance? Okay, great.
Dan,
Oh, wonderful.
he said that all construction is complete minus a few bores. And they're splicing fiber into phase 2 now, which if you need to, I've got a map in the office that they left, that Surf left after the ribbon cutting. And we don't have live dates for the last 2 phases quite yet, but they're getting close.
Okay,
So, and thank you for participating in ribbon cutting.
oh. Thank you. Never met a microphone I didn't like, right? So
Yeah, no.
thanks for all the advance notice there. I see them throwing the, it looks like the fiber into the tubes that they laid before. That's what's going on now. Kind of fun. Neat process. All right, public input.
Something I'll mention.
Please,
I don't know if this is the right group for it, but.
could you identify yourself for the people in,
520,000.
thank you.
The installation now of your fiber network may offset this a bit, but during peak times of the summer, mostly, cell phone coverage is non-existent. And you mentioned the Dunes project and added a population to the community. Has any notice been given to whoever manages cell towers that we're getting saturated here? And I'm sure other people have had this on Academy weekends. It's just awful.
I'm not sure quite how to respond to that.
Well, I've noticed that my cell phone service has been horrible, and it doesn't matter what day of the week, what evening, whether Academy personnel are here, whether Academy families are here. It just doesn't matter, period.
It's definitely worse when something's going on. And
It's an AT&T or Verizon.
I've got Verizon, but I don't know who owns the towers around.
I've got T-Mobile, and I had AT&T, and T-Mobile's a little better than AT&T, but about half a bar.
Well, it's actually got to a point where you just can't use it. Might be able to make a call, but that's about it. As far as any kind of data or even texting, slow to almost non-existent.
I will put out some questions,
Okay, great.
research that I had to see how other communities maybe have dealt with it.
I mean, one reason that Culver's always had a problem is that we sit down in the bottom of a bowl. I mean, witness the lake. Never seen a lake on top of a mountain.
Well, when you do the math, and I don't know what the capacity of the towers is, but the summer is probably not as bad as some of the times in the winter because all the students at the academy have phones. In the summer, they're not allowed to have phones. Once you add that population and parental population and special events, I think it's just overwhelming for the system. It can't handle it.
I don't know whether it's that or whether in the winter there aren't leaves on the trees. And so the signal coming off at 31 or coming out off the tower and over, between here and Knox, doesn't have as much to break it up.
And whoever manages those towers, they'll know all that.
Yeah.
information. That should trigger them to do something, but maybe it takes a little extra push from the community to say, hey, we're noticing this too.
I don't know if it's been, at one point, there was a conversation with the schools, a tower going up somewhere around on school property, and nothing came to fruition of that I'm aware of. So I don't know if a different location was selected and they're working on those different things. I don't know the answer to that, but you're not wrong by any means.
Yeah.
Something that really been doing.
And there is a tower not too far outside of town. However,
Whose it is or who manages that.
yeah, I'm not sure who owns it anymore.
So Karen, you'll throw something out there to see on AIM? Okay. And how do we find out who owns the towers? Any suggestions?
Who owns the towers?
Yeah,
AT&T.
they do.
Well, they own one. They don't own them all.
Well, they own the one down where Alfred used to live on 28.
Yeah.
And they own the one on Pear Road.
Yeah.
I don't know where
The
the other
one-
one is selling.
There's one just northwest of the West Junction of 10 and 17. But I don't know if that's been updated in years.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Rich West has his hand up online.
Oh. We recognize Rich. Rich
Can you hear
West.
me? Yes, can you
You
hear
can.
me?
Yeah, we sure can.
Oh, good. You may want to explore it with Surf, and it may have been there and I couldn't hear it, but the VoIP, the voice over internet protocol for phone service, if the might be an option for people.
That's if they're home, right?
I'm not sure how that works, quite honestly. So I don't know if it, you know, I don't know. I don't know what Surface Network is. You know, if you can tie into it from remotely from places other than your home, I don't know.
Okay. Thank you, Rich. In the back of my mind, I'm remembering a county council meeting last year that they were investing in something related to the emergency dispatch because of that missed fire call at the academy.
There's a problem with the sheriff.
Marshall
Yeah.
County Sheriff's Department.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was I think that was a dispatching problem
Well,
rather than a,
I remember they came and they said, I think the sheriff said the issue was the bowl that you were talking about, and then a new tower had to be added in order, and I thought there might have been some money appropriated. And I'm wondering if that could impact any of this.
I hadn't really heard anything there. That particular incident though was a dispatch problem rather than a
There was a,
reception
there's a
problem.
company that specializes in emergency communications. And they had massive outages around the country. I know I'm from Richmond, Virginia. We had the same thing happen. 911 had to call everybody and say, "Our systems are down. You have to use the alternate number," because there was a flaw, a fault in programming these systems. And it wasn't only Culver or Plymouth or Marshall County.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Any other public input? Hearing none, we can move on to member input. This day we will go counterclockwise. I'll start with you, Erica. Okay. Bye, Erica. Sally, anything?
I don't have anything other than I'd be happy to help with whatever I can
Thank you.
on both the TIF, whatever else.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. We will try to make sure boredom is not one of your problems.
It hasn't been lately.
Sarah, anything?
None.
Okay, and nothing from me. So with that, we can entertain a motion to adjourn and to claims.
I'll move to adjourn and sign claims.
All right.
I'll second.
Okay, Sally and Erica, we have a motion to adjourn to claims. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, everyone.